Hello and welcome to the Hero Spouse. I'm Kenda Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have a male left behind and forward moving spouse. His bomb drop is April 23rd, 2022, and his date of marriage is 2018. He has a vanisher who is a high energy replayer. He says, my wife moved out 5 months after bomb drop. Bomb drop was April of this year, so we're looking at November of this year. And September of this year, and we're now in November. So she moved out 2 months ago about. While we were only married for 5 years, we've been together for 12. Thank you. That is really important information that you have been together and probably in a marital style relationship, because that's where I will think of yourself in more of a long-term relationship. And that is helpful because if you had only been married for 5 years, you've probably heard me bring up the question, well, were they in midlife crisis when you met and when you started dating or when you got married? So that is very important. It was mostly business-like. The last contact we had, I initiated over email soon after she moved out to settle some finances. It was mostly business-like. I've been working on myself and no longer feel in liminal space, but I don't feel 100% whole yet. I bet. This is still very new for you. Do I continue to wait for contact? I'm way out of my element and not confident on an approach. No, you don't need to continue to wait. Although I do want you to know if this is a midlife crisis, it's a years-long process and you are in the very beginning. But how do you ever reconcile if you have no contact? And at this point, you have just asked this a few days after Thanksgiving. It's a holiday. It's about gratitude, giving thanks, spending time with family. It might be a good time. Now, that doesn't mean you start to get personal and ask questions. Just either whatever you feel comfortable with. Call, text, email. Say, Happy Thanksgiving. I've been thinking about you. You don't even have to say anything else. Or, Happy Thanksgiving. I hope yours went well. I'm working on gratitude and I am so thankful for the years we had together. Something positive that doesn't require a response. And if she does respond, it might be thank you. Maybe nothing else. It may be very businesslike. She may not even get it. She may not get it till she's back at work on Monday. Wait, we're past that. Sorry. But she might not respond at all. If she's seeing somebody, they might intercept it. We don't know. But right now, just send something. And I completely understand being way out of your element. So if you sent this to me in April, we wouldn't have the perfect opportunity of just after Thanksgiving or even right at Christmas. At the holidays, you can send something relatively neutral. I wouldn't recommend you send something on your anniversary. On their birthday, yeah. It's just, hey, I was thinking of you. I hope you had a great day. Happy birthday. Nothing much else. You want to be very neutral and platonic about it. But you letting them know, I'm still here and I'm thinking about you. And I'm not pining away. I'm not asking, why is this happening? I'm just sending something for your benefit to say, I hope you're doing well. Even if you don't right now. So beyond that, let's look at what you do when it's not a nice holiday season, because you can do this at Christmas also. So you've got 2 holidays right in there. But let's say it's been 4 months and it's April. And what is the reason to contact? Well, maybe it's taxes in April. So there are some business-like reasons that are genuine. You want to come up with some neutral reasons for contact. If you have kids, it's a little bit easier. You haven't said whether you have kids. I'm going to guess you don't, but I could be guessing wrong. So you could also regarding the dogs, the cats. We didn't have kids during Chuck's midlife crisis. We had Catastrophe, she was a catastrophe. She had a heart problem, and so I was able to contact him about Catastrophe, and we had Tiamo, our German Shepherd, and he was very close to both of them. And Catastrophe died, a month or two only after he left. So that was actually pretty hard on him. But they were reasons to contact. Smart contact is when you contact for neutral reasons. You don't want to do any pushing, no pressure in it. If you want to learn more about Smart Contact, go to Marriage Helpers. Smart Contact is an acronym, SMART, and it is their program. I haven't read a lot on it other than just understanding the basics, and that's because I don't want to be promoting something inappropriately, or I don't want to take in what they've done and unknowingly, because sometimes you take in something and you just absorb it so much that you don't realize that you're then spreading it out inappropriately. So I want you to go to their website and look up Smart Contact. They have some YouTube videos. The biggest thing is no push behavior. There's SMART, it has several of them. Push behaviors, stop push behaviors is the S, the first one. It needs to be neutral. Neutral is very important. If you can find some valid reasons for contacting that aren't about pushing and relationship discussions, and then you want to measure what the right amount or frequency of contact is in your situation, because it's going to be different than it would be mine. In mine, I had a clinging boomerang. I didn't even have to worry because he was going to initiate contact with me all the time. And so all I had to do was respond back. For you, you might be the initiator. Because if they're not going to ever initiate, then somebody's got to, right? So, say it's been 4 months, then you initiate contact, then try 2 months later, and 2 months later. Now, if that seemed to be too much for her, and she got stressed over it, was rude about it, increase it to 3 or 4. If it wasn't, start to decrease the amount between contacts. Now, I'm not saying start every 2 months. I'm saying you figure it out. You can start every 4 weeks. But figure out what works for you and what doesn't seem to be too much pressure for her, because it's important that we don't do pressure behaviors. Stop pressure behaviors is the S acronym. But we also have to understand and accept that an MLCer might feel pressured anyway, which means there's nothing for us to stop on the behaviors other than that we can increase the space between our communications, or depending on what we're talking about. But they can feel pressured even if that's not our intention, even if there really isn't pressure on what we're doing other than contacting them. So I would recommend you go to Marriage Helpers. They are an awesome resource. Okay? I hope this is helpful. And I will see everybody in the next question.